Hello everyone. Today I'm again here with a writing skill for note making. Note making is an advanced writing skill which is acquiring increasing importance. Due to the knowledge explosion, there is a need to remember at least the main points of any given subject. Making note is a complex activity which combines several skills. Note making helps students express themselves in real life situations. It enables them to acquire reading skills, including concising and scanning. They acquire writing skills like summarizing, note making, and abstraction. Now the question arises how to prepare notes. Seems to be easy, but a difficult task. So let's go on point wise for the process. First of all, read the passage carefully and consider the following things. The heading. What is the main idea of the passage? Frame a heading based on the central idea and write it in the middle of the pages. Subheadings. How has the main idea been presented and developed? Are there two or three subordinate or associated ideas? You can frame subheading based on these. Then comes points and indenting. Are there further details or points, the subheadings that you wish to keep in these notes? All subheading or points of the same level should be written at the same uniform distance from the margin. Indenting is used to clearly indicate subheading points and subpoints. Subheadings, though separated by points, occur below one another. Points and subpoints too come below one another. Similarly, such use of indenting gives your notes a visual character. At a glance, you can see the main idea and its aspects. Logical sequence of the subheadings and point is essential. The sequencing should be same as in the passage. Indentation of notes, that is, all similar level points should be maintained the same distance from the margin. You can see it in the slide. Write the heading or the title in block letters under the heading. Title, do not give one word title. For example, the title of the passage is Darwinism, could be Need for Universal Darwinism. Main point or subpoint follow the indentation format. Don't write complete sentence, use abbreviation and symbols wherever required. Note should not be very long. Sub or sub point should be properly kept in mind. Then comes the kinds of formats. There are basically three types of formats given there. Mix indent with example. You can see it in the slide mentioned there. Short main points and note forms. Then indent Roman numerals, short main points only, note form. Then comes the indented decimal, which is the commonly used form to use heading, subheading, and then subheading. Now the question arises how to deal with abbreviations. As use of standard abbreviations and symbols as far as possible should be practiced. First letters of name must be capitalized. For example, USA, Darwin, the D of it should be written with capital D. Mumbai, the M should be written with capital. It's a common thing. Common abbreviations used are, for example, we use SC for science, Mr., Mrs., Doctor, Government, GOVT, etc. Then common symbols should be used. For falling on rising, the arrow up and down. For equal, you can put the sign of equal. Figure should be used in measurements. For example, 100 kg, 1000 mm, and so on. When making your own abbreviation, try to keep the main sound of the word. For example, the word is education. So you need to add ed in the front and then n. Then another example is development, for which you can use DVLPT. Some more points. Retain the suffix so that when you are going over the notes later, you may understand the full form of the abbreviation. For example, ADNL for educational and PROGVE for progressive. As a general rule, headings should not be abbreviated. You can use abbreviation in main points and subpoints. Remember this point. Ideally, you do not require more than 4 to 5 words to be abbreviated in a passage beside the common abbreviations. Some common abbreviations used are ABBR for abbreviation, AVT for aviation, FM, LY for family, PNT for point, and so on. Now, the time to discuss about how to summarize a given passage. If a passage is given, so what are the points we should consider while summarizing it? Let's go into it. Read the passage carefully, determine its structure, identify the author's purpose in writing it. This will help you to distinguish between more important and less important information. Read the passage again. This time, divide the passage into sections. The author's use of paragraphing will often be a useful guide. Writing on the passage itself, mark each section or stage of thought. Underline key ideas and terms. Write one sentence summary for each section of or stage of thought. Then comes write the thesis, which is basically a one sentence summary of the entire passage. The thesis should express the central idea of the passage determined from the preceding steps. It may be useful to keep in mind the information contained in the lead sentences or paragraph of most newspaper stories. The what, who, why, where, when, and how of the matter, like that. For discursive phrases, summarize in a sentence the author's conclusion. For factual passages, summarize in one sentence the subject's material and its key features. For narrative, literary passage, summarize in a sentence the subject's material and its key features. Write the first draft of your summary by combining the thesis with the list of one sentence summaries or by combining the thesis with one sentence summaries plus significant details from the passage. In either case, do not repeat information. Eliminate less important information and disregard or minor details. Use as few words as possible to convey the main idea. Check your summary against the notes already made and make whatever adjustments are necessary for accuracy and completeness. Revise your summary, inserting transitional words and phrases when necessary to ensure coherence. Check for style. Avoid a series of short, choppy sentences. Combine sentences for a smooth, logical flow of ideas. Check for grammatical correctness, punctuation, and spellings. Then comes the points to remember while making notes. Do not write full sentence. Use abbreviation wherever needed. Do not give examples and quotations in the notes. Always remember to give the key of abbreviated use. For making the title, take clues from the beginning or the end of the passage. Hope you understand it. Meet you soon.